morning, dear students. The continuation of physical assessment. Next assessment is abdominal assessment. So in abdominal assessment, normally there are four method or techniques to do the physical assessment. The first one is an inspection, and second one is a palpation, percussion, and auscultation. But in case of abdominal assessment, you should go in an order such a way. The first one is an inspection, the second one is an auscultation, third one is a palpation, and the last one is a percussion if needed. So the order will change here. So because the reason that is because of the sounds, the vowel sounds will be disturbed. So that's why the first one is an inspection, the second one is auscultation, third one is a palpation, and the last one is a percussion to be done. So in case of inspection, so inspection of the abdomen, to be checked the contour of the abdominal, the skin contour, how it is, whether it is deeply contracted or it is relaxed, how it looks, and the shape of the abdomen, how it looks, like round or flat or it is protruded. So in case of hernia will be protruded, or in case of any mass which is inside the abdomen will be protruded, or in case of ascites because of the abnormal fluid collection inside the abdominal cavity, so it will be protruded. So that you have to assess the shape of the abdomen and any visible pulsation of the abdomen, any pulsation. So in case of any artery which is having the portal hypertension, or the person is having any arterial problems, that you can get the pulsation, abnormal pulse. So that any visible pulsation that you have to see. Any masses, any visible masses, any areas which is elevated. So that any solid masses or the color changes, so that you can see any masses of the patient is telling there is a tenderness, so you can see that any masses which are located, or any redness. So in case of any skin lesions, any redness, so if the patient is having the colostomy bag, the ostomy procedure has been done, the ostomy, the stomach will be present. So that important thing you should to take care of the colostomy along with that assessment to be done. So any ostomies or any stomach which is present, or any inflammation over the skin area, any swelling, or any wound which is there in the abdominal regions, any oozing of the blood or the pus from the umbilicus area, that to be noted. And the next one is a bowel sounds. So then bowel sounds normally per minute 5 to 30 sounds you can listen. So you have to auscultate the various parts of the this abdomen. So after inspection you have to auscultate the bowel sounds. So this is abdomen. So as a clockwise you have to auscultate the fourth quadrant of the abdomen, right and upper, right lower, left upper, left quadrant area. You have to auscultate with the help of the diaphragm. You can auscultate the bowel sounds. After that you have to auscultate the sounds of the arteries, any pulsation of the arteries, any blowing or any sound which is heard, that in case of renal arteries or in case of iliac arteries, that will be auscultated. And the next one, auscultation, palpation, superficial and deep palpation. So you have to find out any masses or any tenderness the patient is feeling, that to be auscultated. So let me show the demonstration of live demonstration of the how to assess the palpate the or how to listen the bowel sounds. In case of abdominal assessment, the first one, as I told you, you have to inspect. So by the inspection, you have to inspect the contour or any other redness or any swelling, any inflammation, any visible pulsation or any masses in the abdomen. So any blood or oozing from the umbilicus. So you have to inspect the abdominal or the belly area. So whether there is any abnormal in the skin and shape of the skin. So the shape of the abdomen, whether it is in round or it is flat or it is in the shape of like protruded. In case of any hernia, this abdomen will be protruded. So the second one, you have to auscultate the bowel sounds. For auscultating the bowel sounds, you can use the diaphragm of the stethoscope, and you have to auscultate from the all the four quadrant of the abdomen by using the clockwise direction. So here in the upper lower part of the iliac region you can auscultate. So when you auscultating, you will be getting 5 to 30 movements, bubble sounds in a per minute. But in case you have to listen for 4 to 5 minutes, you have to listen the bubble sounds. Sometimes the sounds will be normal, or sometimes will be hyperactive in case of diarrhea, or hypoactive, there is a lack of bowel movements, the sounds will be hypoactive. So you have to find out hyperactive or hypoactive, or it is normal. Yeah, I got the bowel sounds, it was normal. So these sounds you have to listen for at least 1 minute, but you should not hurry you should not do. So you should listen and you should be documented. After listening the bubble sounds, you have to listen the here, this is the diaphragm area. So in the diaphragm, you have to see that any abnormal pulsation. So that you have to see any abnormal pulsation, and in the diaphragm, the both sides. So this is the diaphragm. So both the sides you have to see the renal arteries to be auscultated, both the side renal arteries, and also here the iliac arteries to be auscultated. The sounds of the you can use the bell. You can use the bell to, because it is a low pitch sound, you can use the bell. So any abnormal sounds that you can listen while listening the blood vessel sounds, at the same time to by listening that the bubble sounds. So auscultation is completed. First inspection, second auscultation. In case of auscultation, the bubble sounds by clockwise, the 4 quadrant upper and lower and upper of the right and left you auscultated per minute. 5 to 10 is a normal bubble sounds. Then you have to auscultate the renal arteries, that pulsation sound, under the diaphragm you have to both the sides, and iliac artery of the both the sides, the lower part you have to assess the renal artery and the iliac arteries, and sometimes femoral artery also in the groin you can auscultate. So followed by you should do the palpation. So in case of palpation, first you have to do the superficial palpation, a way of having a 2 centimeter deep, so you can see the any masses of the abdomen, so that you can see that. So followed by little deeper palpation that you should do. So this is about the abdominal assessment. Good morning, dear students. This class I am going to discuss about the deep tendon reflexes. So the deep tendon reflexes, there are 5 deep tendon reflexes we are going to assess. The first one is a biceps reflex, second one is a triceps, third one is a brachioradialis, fourth one is a patellar reflex, and the last one is Achilles reflex. So there are 5 deep tendon we are going to assess. So in case of biceps reflexes, the C5 to C6, the integrity of the nerves will be checked, and in case of triceps, C7 to C8, the nerve integrity to be checked, and brachioradialis C5 to C6 again, and patellar reflex L2 to L4, the lumbar nerves, the integrity will be checked, and Achilles L5 to S2, the nerve integrity. So totally the deep tendon reflexes which will detect the integrity of the spinal cord, and if there is any abnormalities in the deep tendon, which will identify any neuromuscular diseases, or in case of hyperthyroidism, in case of anxiety, or in case of the patient is suffering with any type of nervousness, or if diseases which are associated with the nervous system, that can be assessed with the help of deep tendon reflexes. So when you assessing, or when you doing the deep tendon reflexes, you need the knee hammer. So with the help of the knee hammer, you have to briskly have to tap over the tendon. You have to identify the specific tendon and deeply, or you have to briskly, you have to tap over the deep tendon, and you have to remove the knee hammer after tapping the specific tendon. You have to just remove it, and this when you striking that the specific tendon, before you have to identify and you have to strike it. And also whenever you do deep tendon reflexes, the extremities to be flexed in a relaxed position, and you have to find the tendon and to be struck out. So after assessing, there will be a response from the patient deep tendon. So if it is 4 plus, that means it is hyperactive response. In case of 3 plus, that is brisker than normal, and 2 plus, it is a normal response expected, and 1 plus, like the response is diminished, that means hypoactive, and 0, there is no reflexes, that means upset. So this is of the rating to be identified and to be noted after assessing the deep tendon reflexes, to be documented in the patient case sheet. I may demonstrate how to assess the deep tendon reflexes. Firstly, to assess the biceps reflex, we have to identify the biceps muscle. This is called the biceps muscles. So in the biceps muscle, so you can see the biceps muscle. So in the biceps muscle, there is a down, that means the lower part, there is a tendon. So it is like a cord-like structure, you can feel it, there is a tendon. So you have to place your one hand, finger or the thumb over the tendon, and ask the patient to flex the arm. So when you flex the arm, so the patient to be relaxed also. At the same time, so you are going to strike it over the tendon. So when you strike it, there will be a slight contraction of the biceps muscle. At the same time, there is a flexion of the lower arm will takes place. So let me strike it. So now you identify cord-like structure. So I am going to strike it over the tendon. So the biceps will contract, and the lower arm will flex. Okay, I'll do once more. Next one is a triceps reflex. So the triceps muscle, which are located the posterior part of the upper arm. So in the triceps muscle, and there will be the deep tendon. So that to be identified first. The deep tendon to be identified. After identifying the deep tendon, ask the patient to dangle the arms to be freely dangled. So after that, you have to strike it over the deep tendon. There will be a slight contraction and extension of the arm which takes place. So these triceps deep tendon reflexes, which you use to assess the C7 and C8 nerve function, how it is integrated. So how the integrity of the nerve to be assessed with the help of the triceps deep tendon reflexes. Just you have to find out the deep tendon and you have to strike it. Next reflex is a brachioradialis reflex. The brachioradialis reflex, you have to find out the side of the radial artery. So at the side of the thumb, you can see the tendon. So this tendon 2.5 centimeter above the wrist, you can find out the tendon. So after finding out the tendon, you have to strike it correctly over the tendon. So there will be a response of the this will be relaxed, and there will be a mild contraction of the hand will takes place. So this is also find out the to know the function of the nerve, that is C5 to C6. Okay. Next one is a patellar reflex. To assess the patellar reflex, you have to find out the kneecap. So from the kneecap, there is a below the region, that is the this region is a there is a cord-like structure, there is a tendon. So this tendon to be striped. So when you stripe that, there will be extension of the leg that will take place. Next one is assessment of the Achilles reflex. To assessment of the Achilles reflex, this normally used to know about the nerve function of L5 to S2. Here you have to dorsiflex the foot, you have to dorsiflex it, and you have to this is the Achilles tendon. So this Achilles tendon you have to straight away, you have to strike it, and there will be a slight jerky movement, you can feel it. So when you striking, there will be a slight jerky motion the person used to feel. So with that you can assess the deep tendon reflexes. So all over the deep tendon reflexes we have seen in this section, that is a biceps reflexes, triceps, brachioradialis, patellar reflexes and Achilles reflex. So deep tendon reflex is very important to have a practice, and also the patient to be rated in the grading scale. In the grading scales you have to see 4+, 3+, 2+, or 1+ or 0. In case of nervous diseases, it will be very hypoactive or absent, and in case of electrolyte imbalances also these reflexes there will be a changes, and you have to, that is very important that electrolyte imbalances the reflexes to be checked and to be recorded in the patient rating scale in the patient record. In this audio visual teaching, I explained to you various assessment one by one. So I hope so it will be very thankful for you. So by listening that, any doubts you can ask me whenever it is possible. And at the same time I thank my husband who cooperated for me to perform this procedure in a live demonstration very effectively. At the same time I thank my son who helped me for the technology, for the Photoshop and all the video editing, he helped me. So I thank my family members who supported me to complete the video successfully for the benefit of the students. Thank you so much.